Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to the final portion of the program tonight. We're going to be talking about the language of the Holy Quran. We have with us our very own and beloved Ibrahim Ashur. Assalamu alaikum to you, Brother Ibrahim.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much for having me in this episode and this segment, of course.
Yes, thank you again for joining us. Very interesting topic we have about tonight. We're going to be focusing on the uniqueness of the language of the Holy Quran. Brother Ibrahim, can you talk to us, give us a summary and update of what we talked about in the last part of the series?
Yes, of course. I think 3 weeks ago we tackled this topic in details, but we began this series that we intend, inshallah, to complete it, inshallah, and to benefit our viewers, our Muslims and humanity at large. We talked about the status of the Arabic language and how the Arabic language has, a specific position and is very unique. And we clarified that the Arabic language is enough to say that the Arabic language is the language of the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen this language to be the language of the last message of Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the last messenger to all mankind, to all humanity. Why? Because it has many characteristics, and this is the core or the main points that inshallah we're going to tackle in this episode. Also, we talked about the ruling of the Arabic language, because some people think that the Arabic language is not important to learn it. It's just a language, and if you are a Muslim or non-Muslim, can read about Islam from a different language. Of course, you can do that, but it's good and more perfect to learn the language through which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent His message to mankind.
Just to clarify before you continue, you're giving us the update. Just to clarify, highly recommended or required? Obligatory.
Yes.
To learn the Arabic language.
And we quoted the saying of Imam Ibn Taymiyyah. So he was one of the great scholars in Islam. He said, the Arabic language is a part of your religion, is a part of Islam. And of course, we know and we learn that the mean has the same ruling of the goal. If the goal is mandatory, for example, the mean has the same ruling. If it's obligatory, the same meaning. So understanding the Quran and Sunnah is, of course, obligatory. So how can I understand it? Of course, through learning Arabic. So it has the same ruling, of course. And we clarify this in details in the last episode, of course.
All right. So you were giving us, kind of describing for us 3 weeks ago what you had done. Is there more you want to say about that before we get into the subject for tonight, the uniqueness of the language?
Actually, I forgot in the last episode to mention the saying of Ibn Khaldun. Ibn Khaldun, one of the greatest scholars in Islam, he said a very famous quote, and I was touched when I mentioned this quotation of him. He said, the strength of language, of any language, is derived from the strength of its people. You can measure the power of the people according to the power or the strength of their language. So now you can measure as Arabs or as Muslim Ummah our status among the nations according to our language. I remember in the Middle Ages, the Western countries or the elite or the kings and queens of the Western countries used to quote and used to borrow some words from the Arabic language, because at that time of course we know that the Muslims were very powerful, of course. But now we have the opposite side. Now we're, of course, a little bit weak, and we used to borrow some words from the others, like English language and others. So this is very important to mention this quotation from Ibn Khaldun, of course.
So we've had, over the past 500 years, we've had the tables turned on us. We used to, the Arabs and the Muslims used to be the centers of learning. The economic powers used to all be in the Arab world. But now, like you're saying, we're going through a bit of a rest, a retreat.
We hope to recover soon, inshallah.
Okay, so tonight we're going to be talking about the uniqueness of the Arabic language, the language of the Holy Quran. What are some of the things that make the Arabic language so unique?
When it comes to the characteristics or the uniqueness of the Arabic language, of course, comes to our mind that the word that I repeated again and again over and over, the Arabic language is the language of the Quran and Sunnah.
Yes.
And as I said, and inshallah I will repeat it again and again in every episode,
Okay.
that I swear by Allah, if the only thing that the Arabic language has is to be the language of the Quran and Sunnah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has it chosen for the last message, it's enough for it.
It's enough.
It's enough for it. And by the way, when I say it's the language of our deen, it's the language of the revelation, it means the language of the Quran and Sunnah. And by the way, some people do not know that the Sunnah itself is the revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, has preserved both Quran and Sunnah. And of course, the Arabic language is the language of both, which means the language of the entire religion.
Yes.
And it's enough for it. And this is the first item of the characteristics of the high characteristics of the Arabic language.
So it's one thing